Today's video is not sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there. But anywho, we're going to be talking about AOE farmers. What are some of the best AOE farmers available right now in global, and what kind of team can you put together, and what can that team do synergy wise, and all that other good stuff that you guys want to see when it comes to team building and strats and all of that jazz. So let's first talk about, and spoiler alert, we did pull Merlin. Hey, finally. Took us only, I don't even want to talk about how many diamonds. So we'll save that for another video, perhaps our live stream that we might do later today. We'll see. But let's go ahead and check out my farm team. Now, this is a farm team I put together with some of the very best that Global has to offer right now. We've got Weinheit, or you can just call him Weinhardt, which is a lot of people call him. It's just simpler to say. I probably butchered the German translation, but hey, our boy on the left side. Middle there, our main right now, we got our boy Hauser, obviously extremely good, very versatile. His sub works well with this team as well, which we'll get into in a moment. And then we've got Nagila, which is very good as well. She is going to do some work with her passive for this team as well. So the team synergy is very much here. And of course, we got our boy Arthur on the sub. Now, the reason why we run Arthur as a sub is because he's going to be a good unit to come in off the bench if for whatever reason one of our AOE units get taken down. Thank you so much for that subscription. I love when that happens when I'm making videos. But yeah, so he'll be a very good option to come in off the bench if one of our AOE units do go down, because he's extremely tanky. He has an amazing ultimate that could take down hard to beat enemies, like those little mini bosses that you get on the final waves. And he also provides this entire team with 15% additional HP off of his passive for humans, which you can see here. The theme of today's video is mostly going to be involving a lot of humans, because some of the better AOE farmers in the game are humans. What can I say? So the team works perfectly. Now, speaking of humans, back to our boy Hauser. His sub provides 8% to all stats of human type characters as well, which again only helps everyone on the team. Now we're going to go over all their individual skills as well, and talk a little bit more about their passives and kind of how the team works in a moment. But don't think these are the only 4 units. Like, you have to have this team to build the best AOE farm team right now global. No, there are some other variations that you can possibly build. I've even had some where I threw in Jericho or another very strong single target damage dealer, even threw in Blue King on some occasions. It really kind of depends on the content, because sometimes, depending on what stages you're trying to beat, sometimes you need to switch it up a little bit and run your AOE farmers with a single target, either support unit or powerhouse. So it's not always so cut and dry or so black and white with this team, but for the most part, this is a team that I like to run when I'm trying to do some quick AOE farm, because they work so well together, because they all provide a little bit more to the puzzle, and together they create a work of art. So let's first go ahead and talk about our boy Weinheit. Alright, so as you see right now, he looks like he's trying to be Robin Hood, and I don't mind it at all. So what is his skills? Okay. His skill 1 at rank 3, because we like to talk about these skills at rank 3, because it's just a lot better to talk about their potential, their best potential move. So it goes from an attack card to an attack and debuff card at rank 2, and at rank 2 and onwards, he picks up disables attack skills, AOE. This is super good for AOE farming, because if you're going against a lot of bosses, especially mini bosses, for example, or multiple enemies that are attacking and doing some damage, it's very nice to completely shut down their attack skills like that, because of his disable attack skills for 2 turns on his rank 3, and then for 1 turn on his rank 2, and he does a little bit of AOE damage. So very, very good there. And again, the reason why I like to run this guy sometimes with some of my single target beasts like SSR Red Bond or even Green Jericho is because they love it when enemies are debuffed, because they do a ton more damage. So he's a very good setup in a lot of those types of scenarios as well, where you want to bring in one hard hitter that loves debuffing. This guy is all about that life. All right. Skill 2. Similar to skill 1, he picks up an attack and then goes into an attack debuff on his skill 2 and, of course, I'm sorry, his rank 2 and his rank 3 card. Now, on rank 3, remove stances from all enemies. Very good, especially within PvP if you're dealing with a lot of green Meliodases, for example, or even blue Meliodas. You completely shut that counter shit down. Inflicts damage equal to 180% of attack, then disable stance skills for 2 turns. Just absolutely phenomenal. So not only does he remove their counters, he takes away their cards as well to where they can't even set up for next turn. So, I mean, this dude is just a debuffing AOE machine. Now, what's very cool about this guy is not only does he have some really good debuffing and AOE skills, he provides one hell of an impact on his ultimate. You can see here, mine's maxed out, of course. I've fed on all my dupes. Max level blackout arrow inflicts pierce damage equal to 840% of attack on one enemy. 3 times pierce rate increase. So if you can get any kind of pierce rate on this guy, his ultimate is going to hit like a truck. And it has a pretty nice multiplier for an SR as well. 840% at max. Not too shabby. So he has a nice little single target nuke if you need it as well for some of them harder to beat bosses and you don't want all full AoE. This guy provides a little bit of everything, and that's not all. If we check out his passive, he increases all allies pierce rate by 8% at the end of every turn, limit 5 times, so you can stack that up to, I believe, 40% pierce rate on all of your allies. And since they're all AoE, that is a ton of damage potential. Basically, the further you get into the fight, the more damage your team's going to do, which is going to lead us into our next hero. We're going to skip over Hauser for a moment because we want to kind of segue this over. So, we just talked about how his pierce rate to all allies, of course, after 5 turns is going to be up to 40%. That's going to be additional damage for all your AoE attacks. Well, that's where Holy Nagila comes in, and she really just ramps that up even further. She takes it up to another notch. So, our girl, on her skill 1, complete debuff attack, even from rank 1, she inflicts damage equal to 200% of attack on all enemies, applies 2 ignite effects for 5, I repeat, 5 turns. Ignite damage taken by targets is plus 10%, can be stacked, and the stacks are infinite. So, however many stacks you can get within those turns before some of those stacks start to fall off, you could have some crazy damage potential. You could do 30, 40, 50, 60, even maybe 100% more damage from all of your units, depending on how many ignite stacks you can have. So this is a case where sometimes maybe not combining the cards might benefit you if you're trying to do some quick burst damage on certain waves, because you could throw down 3 bronzes and that's freaking 3 ignites for 3 turns, which means all your allies are going to be doing 30% more damage to the enemies because they're going to be taking 30% more damage from attacks, which is crazy. And it goes from 3 turns to 4 to 5. Now, what's really crazy is the bronze actually gives you 3 turns. 3 turns on the bronze. That's actually pretty crazy. Now, granted, I do like the gold one, though, because it gives you from 5 turns and you get 2. But, again, you might just want to go with the bronze and maybe even the silvers more so than the gold just to get more of those ignites going. Even though you do get a little bit of a damage boost, I still prefer having a lot of ignites stacked on the character. I feel like that's definitely something very, very cool with her character style. Now, what's really interesting is she provides you with a cleanse, which kind of helps you when you're not running Blue King in this type of team. You're still having that cleanser to help cleanse your own debuffs or, anything negative effects are being applied to you. So that's very, very cool. And then at rank 2, similar to Blue King, she picks up a heal, an AoE heal, 30% and then 50% of HP that's been removed, and still cleanses. Just very nice. Very, very nice. And then her ultimate, this is just ridiculous. Now, mine's only at level 1, because I think I accidentally traded away some of her dupes back when I first started the game, stupidly. So if you guys, I recommend do not getting rid of any of your SR Nagila dupes, please. But anyway, Brilliant Detonation. Removes stances from all enemies and inflicts damage equal to 280% of attack. Now again, similar to our Vinehite, she goes ahead and removes counters and stances and anything like that that your characters are trying to set up for. Or, I'm sorry, that your enemies are trying to set up for. This is great. And this is an AOE ultimate, by the way, guys. Applies 2 ignite effects for 4 turns. So she just continues to keep stacking these ignites over and over and over again, allowing the rest of your entire team that are all going to be mostly AOE farmers, maybe even one nuker, to just do a ton more damage. So she really helps. She's really the engine right now for AOEers. Because if you look at a lot of the prime, you know, the pure AOE farmers, you'll notice that a lot of their damage outputs, their modifiers are pretty low. Like, for example, a rank 3 card is only 200%. You're thinking, 200% is kind of low. But it is attacking up to 3 enemies at a time. But when you are taking into consideration all the ignite stats, ignite stacks that you're going to be applying, that 200% can become 300% really quick. And then for all 3 of your farmers. So the damage potential is crazy. Not to mention, a lot of these AoE farmers attack multiple times. Not just one straight woof and it's done. No, they'll attack several times, especially a unit like Hauser. But we'll get to him in a moment. Now, her ultimate fills the ultimate move gauge by 1 orb at the start of the next turn if the hero doesn't take damage. So if she does not take any damage, she's going to go ahead and give herself a free 1 orb ult move gauge, which is actually pretty crazy. So she can, of course, spam that ultimate a lot easier. Just absolutely insane units. I feel like she's really the engine that powers the AoE farm teams right now on Global. Very, very solid unit. I was very happy to make her 70 and, of course, 4-star Awakener. I will gladly make her a 6-star at some point down the road. Very, very awesome unit. Now, let's go ahead and talk about our boy Hauser. A lot of you are already probably familiar with Hauser, and if you're not, you're about to be. First, let's talk about one of the best things about him for this particular human farm team. His passive increases human allies' basic stats by 8%. Human allies' basic stats by 8%. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. So he's just adding more fuel to the fire here with this team. You're seeing how this team synergy just meshes so well. You're getting more damage. First you're getting the 8% up on your stats, and then you're on your basic stats. You gotta be specific, your basic stats, and then you're getting the 15% up HP from your boy Arthur from the bench, who can also come in and of course provide you with all these crazy buffs. And then you're getting the additional damage thanks to the pierce rate up from your boy Vinehite from his passive. And then you got Nagila, who's providing more damage for your entire team by allowing you to keep stacking ignites. And then your Vinehite is providing a lot of debuffs, keeping your enemies from being able to even use attack cards. Just crazy. And then Hauser is going to go ahead here and also 3 times pierce rate increase, damage equal to 250% of attack on all enemies. Now, what's very important about this is his pierce rate is now being buffed even further thanks to our boy Vinehite's passive. So he's going to be doing crazy pierce rate damage. Crazy. And I'll show you guys what pierce rate is in a moment, in case you're not aware. And then his skill 2, Super Cyclone, inflicts Sever 2 times crit chance. 2 times crit chance, which means he's very good to run with attack set and crit damage. Because he's going to be the unit on your team that's going to be critting more than anybody else. And then if you throw some crit damage on him, with all the other buffs he's getting, with pierce rate, with damage up, 8% up, HP up, I mean, what the fuck is going on right now? So, just, what? Yeah. Crazy team, guys. And we're going to talk about the combo. Inflicts damage equal to, ignore the percentage because mine, of course, is level 4. I have some dupes into them. Yours might be a little bit different if you do have them. Of attack on all enemies, decrease skill ranks, then depletes the ultimate move gauge by the number of skill ranks increased. So this man's ultimate is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Very high percentage multiplier for an AoE. It's basically an AoE nuke, kind of similar to like Dian's and of course maybe like Blue King. you know, in terms of like sheer damage output for an AOE. Just very, very good for an ult. Then the increase of skill ranks is amazing. Because if they have like a skill 2, it's going to be down to a skill 1. Skill 3 is going to go down to skill 2. Because I believe it only decreases by 1 rank. And then depletes the ultimate move gauge by the number of skill rank decreases. So, very, very crazy. Very, very crazy. So that's our boy Hauser. So now you can see here how the team kind of really works together very well. The engine is there. You guys are seeing the moving parts. It's awesome. And then again, like I said, Arthur coming off the bench with that increases human allies' HP related stats by 15%. And I'm sorry, I keep saying HP up. It's HP related stats by 15% is absolutely phenomenal. So, and of course, our boy here, we already know what he can do. His attack at rank 2 can go into a attack with debuff. Of course, disables recovery skills. So now you can disable recovery skills. You're disabling attack skills. You're lowering skill ranks. I mean, this team is doing so much things. It's doing so much things. That is phenomenal. Then, of course, you got the buff that removes debuff. So you got a secondary cleanse on your team, which is very helpful. Increases basic stats by 30% and grants debuff immunity for 3 turns. So just phenomenal. And then of course his ultimate, which does 2 times crit chance as well, so you could build this guy with HP and crit damage, which is what I prefer to do. But if you're trying to get CC out of this guy, then I guess you can go HP and defense. But if you want to get more damage out of this ult, I would prefer to go HP crit damage. So absolutely phenomenal units. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, not everybody in the game, of course, is going to have these 4 units, let alone built up to where I have them right now. But you guys can kind of see what some of the best AoE farmers are in the game. We went over 3 of them right now. There, of course, are a couple others. Like Green Bond, you know, granted, he's not fully an AoE farmer. Like, he's not a pure AoE farmer. When he comes to the coin shop, he's going to be very, very good. And when I mean the green coin shop bond, I do not mean the one that's already in the game. Deanne is also a very good AoE farmer in her own right. The free one you get from story. She has a nice AoE ult and, of course, a nice AoE skill as well. There are some other units as well, like the Green Fat King. He's another option. So there are a few other ones, guys, but I really wanted to touch base on some of the better ones, the more prominent ones, in my opinion, for how they work and how well they work together. So AoE farmers, guys, are dominated by the humans. So there you guys go. Very, very cool. Maybe we'll show these guys and gals in action in maybe our next live stream and talk a little bit more about them. I cannot wait to build them up a little bit more, especially my Hauser. He's kind of struggling a little bit, only at level 60. I can get him to 65 and even 70 right now, but I'm kind of waiting to see what we're going to get on Tuesday. It could be Red Hellbroom. It could be something else. Maybe they'll release Crimson Demon and give us Red Demon Meliodas right off the bat. I don't know. Netmarble could be doing some Looney Toonies kind of things. I don't know. Who knows? We'll find out soon enough. So I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe and take notifications. And of course, comment below, like the video if you did. And join us in the Discord in the description, because we're going to be doing a tier list Discord community video sometime, maybe tomorrow or the next day. But we're going to be putting that tier list together live in Discord in a chat. Hopefully tonight, tomorrow at the latest. So if you guys want to be a part of that and help put in your input and putting together this global tier list for various different categories, then you definitely want to consider jumping into that Discord. Plus, we have a lot of helpful people in there as well that can help you guys in your Grand Cross adventures and going forward. So I hope you all enjoyed. Have a great weekend wherever you are. Until next time, as always, peace.